You're listening to episode 8 of the Fed and Fearless podcast. On today's episode, I'm going to be interviewing one of my favorite clients, Natalie, all about her experience with changing the way that she saw herself as a member of the Fed and Fearless coaching program. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Laura Schoenfeld. I'm a registered dietitian and coach trained in functional medicine with a passion for helping women just like you ditch perfectionism and use food, fitness, and self-care to fuel your bigger God-given purpose. I believe that it's possible to achieve your biggest life-changing goals without the frustration, obsession, or negative self-talk that so many women subject themselves to every day. All you need are the right tools, the right mindset, and the faith to turn your dreams into reality. I'm here to guide you along the way. The truth is that you are so much more than a body, and I'm on a mission to help you change the way you think and act at a core beliefs level so you can transform your physical, mental, and spiritual health from the inside out. Are you ready to become fed and fearless in your pursuit of a healthy, meaningful life? Welcome to the Fed and Fearless podcast. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fed and Fearless podcast. I'm Laura Schoenfeld. I'm your host, and I am just so excited today to welcome my first case study client to the podcast ever. Her name is Natalie, and she's amazing. She's one of my favorite people to work with. And I love all my clients, but Natalie has always stood out to me as being someone who's just so positive and so fun to work with. And she's definitely an action taker as well. So she's one of my standouts, and I'm just so excited to have her on the show today. I know you're going to learn a lot from her experience. She's got so much wisdom to share, and I just can't wait for you guys to get to know her. So without further ado, here is Natalie. All right. Well, I am so excited today, you guys. I have one of my absolute favorite clients that I've ever worked with on our podcast today. And she's going to tell you about her story and give you guys some hope about what is possible for you when you're able to start developing a fearless approach to health. So everybody, welcome with me, Natalie, to the show. Hello, Natalie.
Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, well, I am so grateful to have you on. I know that this is something that probably feels a little outside your wheelhouse because you're not a business owner, but I am so excited to have you. And I know that our listeners are going to get so much from our conversation today. So just to get us started, I would love to have you introduce yourself so people know who you are. And really, what was your life like before you came into my world?
Yes, yeah, definitely. So my name is Natalie. Kind of a background, I was a former classical ballet dancer. So all growing up was dancing probably 8 hours a day. I went into a company right out of high school and did that for a couple of years, and then kind of transitioned to kind of that normal 9-to-5 job. During that whole time period, still had that mentality of body image, and I had to look a certain way, and basically always trying to lose weight and what's like the next health thing that I can do, or everything revolved around the gym, meal prepping. I would like skip social events because, oh no, I need to go to the gym. I need to go to bed so that I can make that gym workout, or no, I can't go there because they don't have anything that I can eat, or bringing my own food, basically all of my 20s, and just kind of spiraling to that like negative thought patterns around working out, body image, and food for pretty much 10 years.
And I know being a ballerina, I'm sure there was a lot of different and more intense influence about body image. So can you tell us a little bit more about your experience with that?
Yes. Yeah. So, I'm trying to like pinpoint, I think, when really it started kind of spiraling. I had just moved away out of, like a hometown that I had grown up in around my support system, and gone away to dance, and just the pressure to look a certain way that, was kind of, and I wouldn't even say it was told to me. Like there were some companies that I know they would weigh dancers, and it wasn't even as far as that strict, but just the idea of you need to look a certain way and all the dancers should look a certain way. And there was another girl in class who just was more naturally thinner and a little taller than I was, maybe a little more leaner. I guess you could say I had a little more muscular body built to me. And just that, we have to all look a certain way so we can all look the same on stage and have the same size costume as if we need to switch, just really spiralized into that negative thought pattern of I would weigh myself every day and I would only be satisfied if that number went down from the day before. And my worth was completely wrapped up in that number. And I would be so happy if I would go to bed hungry, because then I thought, I did a good job. I didn't eat too much because I went to bed hungry. So that was definitely very negative now that I see where I was.
Well, a lot of times it's hard to see what's happening when it's happening until you're on the other side of it. And then you can kind of look back and say, wow, I can't believe that was my life back then.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to remember, because I know it's been a while since you and I have been working together. But do you remember, what were you specifically struggling with that led you to find me and to communicate with me about becoming a client?
Yes, I'm still dancing, taking classes to kind of stay in shape, but I was struggling so much with everything that was on the internet, keto and, carbs are bad, or no, you need carbs. And, also was training in CrossFit about 5 to 6 days a week. And, at that time I was also doing 2 workouts a day and just feeling awful, not seeing any results as far as I'm working so hard and the scale isn't budging. I'm not feeling comfortable in my clothes. It's just so frustrated and not sure, is it because of what I'm eating? Is it because of this? Is it because of hormones? Is it because of my thyroid? Just feeling like I do not know what is going on and what to do. And that's when I found you, and you said that you would be there to hold my hand and walk me through. And I just knew that the Lord brought you into my life at that exact moment, because I was struggling and did not know what else to do.
And you were doing twice a day and working CrossFit at the same time.
Yes. So that had zero social life. I would never go out to eat with friends, especially if it was during the work week, because I had to constantly be going to bed early so I could wake up to do my early morning workout. And then after work, I would go back to the gym for another CrossFit or HIIT kind of style workout.
Wow. I kind of forgot that you were training that much. Cause it's I know we've made a lot of changes since working together, and that just sounds exhausting to me.
Yes. It is, even just thinking back, I'm what was I doing? But I just thought I needed to do more. And that would get me the goal that I wanted, which is not the case.
And what would you say was the goal for doing that much working out?
That was the idea that I needed to be a certain size. I needed to be a certain size to maybe attract somebody, or I needed to be a certain size to find happiness in myself.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think the weight loss piece most of the time is not just the only goal. It sounds like there was a lot of self-worth goals wrapped up in that desire to lose weight. Exactly.
Putting the self-worth in what the scale was. Instead of what we know is true identity.
Now, and I'm trying to remember, I should have probably looked this up before I jumped on the call with you. I'm trying to remember if we worked privately before you joined Fed and Fearless. I feel like we did.
We did for just a couple months, and then I jumped right into Fed and Fearless.
Right. Okay. Now I'm remembering. So I think I was telling you, hey, I think this group's going to be a perfect fit for you. And it's going to just totally amp up your results from the one-on-one, since one-on-one I think is awesome. And I also think there's a lot that one-on-one can't accomplish that a group can. So I remember thinking, oh my gosh, Natalie's going to be the perfect person to be in this program. So I know that the program is not cheap. So what was your experience when you were deciding whether or not to invest in the group coaching when you had already invested in working with me one-on-one?
Yeah. So the group coaching, that what really enticed me is that I knew that I was not alone in this journey to pursue freedom, and that there were other women with me, and that we would be walking this journey together. And also just, I love the variety of topics. Like, it wasn't just health and fitness. Everything from skincare to pelvic floor to specific types of weight training. And that really enticed me, and also that I had access to those coaching calls to ask questions to those different influencers in that area.
Yeah. So there was a lot that, if we were going to try to cover that in our private calls, it would have taken a lot of calls, and it would have been
a lot of calls.
A lot of time with me that maybe wouldn't have been your best way to spend time. Was there anything that you felt like might have stood in your way of either working with me or investing in the group?
Yeah, well, definitely it is a good chunk of money. I guess for me, I was spending so much money on like, oh, maybe this new supplement will help, or maybe I need a B12 shot, or all this stuff that was so unnecessary to really true health and what that is, that I was like, okay, all this money that I had added up from like random supplements or random this that I would buy, it had, added up. I was like, this is really the same price as the program. And seeing that, and the fruit of it was completely worth it to gain that freedom to have true health.
Yeah, I feel like people don't tend to do that analysis that you just mentioned, where they're thinking about joining some kind of program or getting support from a coach or a clinician, and they're like, oh, I can't afford to work with someone. But then if they actually look at all the money that they're wasting testing stuff that's not working for them.
Exactly.
It can get super expensive. I mean, supplements, especially like higher quality stuff, they're not cheap. And, I'm not anti-supplements, as I know, Natalie. I use supplements when I think that they're necessary, but I also think that there's a lot of money that can be wasted doing things that are not helping you or going down the wrong path, like the B12 shots. I mean, not that you might not benefit from B12, but if you were thinking that that was going to fix your energy problem when you were doing 2-a-days for CrossFit and not eating enough, it's definitely barking up the wrong tree. And, whether it's the money that you're wasting or the time, I mean, how much time you were spending at the gym that you could have invested in other things. I think there was a lot of cost associated with staying the way that we were at that time. Do you agree with that?
Oh, exactly. I was just exhausted, just chasing between trying to get all my workouts in, and then, oh, well, maybe I need to do this recipe to, cut out carbs, or maybe I need to do this to add more fat, or whatever it was. Or maybe I should eat a banana, or maybe I shouldn't. Just that exhausted energy of trying all these different things, really not knowing exactly what my body needed. The investment was so worth the freedom to know that, this is what my body needs. I do need these carbs, especially if I'm going to work out, and I don't need to do 5 days a week and 2 days a week CrossFit working out like that. Just the freedom that was completely worth it.
Yeah, I think sometimes when people are stuck in their habits and they don't understand what the cost of those habits are, it can be really difficult to see like the value of change and the value of doing something different. And like we said a few minutes ago, sometimes it really takes looking back on those changes and looking back at what you used to do to be able to say, oh, wow, I had no idea. Because I would imagine there would have been a little bit of nervousness to make that investment, to decide to get the coaching with me privately and then to add on the group. Because, I know looking back, you're like, oh yeah, it was so amazing. But going into it, there was a lot of trust involved. Would you say that there was any sort of hesitation about, is this going to work, or is this like a waste of money? What do you, if you remember, because I know it's been a while.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, there definitely was, especially initially, because I had never, I've done, going to doctors and stuff and paid money, this, natural path or things like that. But I never invested in any kind of coach. Well, I guess I did as far as ballet, but as far as that much money at one time. And it was scary. I did have to pray about it, and I did feel the Lord giving me peace. And I also, though, I feel like was a spot in my journey where I did not know what else to do. Like I was at my wit's end as far as I was not comfortable in my own skin, and I was struggling and striving so hard to, like we had discussed, to try to reach perfection goal that I thought would bring happiness and would be what I wanted out of life. But that wasn't the case. I think it was also just getting to that spot of like, I needed help.
That's such an important point. I feel like there's so many people out there that, maybe they're Natalie from 5 years ago, Natalie from 10 years ago, where you didn't realize that you needed help or that you needed to change something. And it was really that place of getting to that, I don't know what else to do point that helped you see that something had to change, or basically you were just going to be stuck in this pattern. And it sounds like even though you thought to yourself, well, this is how I'm going to be happy when I finally reach this goal, all of the things you were doing to get there were making you unhappy.
Very true. Yes, definitely. I mean, I was not spending time with friends and family because I was so hyper-focused on, had to get to every gym class and had to get to, make sure I didn't eat at a certain time because I thought, oh, maybe I, can't eat at night, and all these negative and incorrect thought patterns that had developed from the background of ballet to just reading things on the internet that I didn't need to read, getting, those false ideas and information about health and what true health really is, that I so wish I had this program back in my 20s when I maybe could have reversed some of those thought patterns. I don't know, can't go back, but just very thankful for the work that we have done to reverse those negative thought patterns and ideas that even society puts on us.
Well, the important thing is that you're here now, right? I mean,
yes.
I know
yes.
I've done the same thing where I'll look back at my 20s and teenage years and be like, wow, I wonder what my life would have been like had I been more confident in myself, or had I not like wrapped up my identity in my body and that kind of thing. And as much as like, we can think about the past, part of me thinks for myself that, hey, I wouldn't be here helping others if I hadn't gone through that, or I wouldn't appreciate my body for what it is today had I not gone through those challenges of not liking my body. So not that I wish this kind of lifestyle on anybody. And I hope that, by the time that we have kids or our kids have kids, that a lot of this stuff will start to dissipate and we won't have these conversations anymore. But the fact is that this is the way that our society is now. And most women, I think the recent stat I saw is that 90% of women are dissatisfied with the way their body looks. So it's super, super common. Might be more intense for some women than others, and women handle it in different ways. You were going to the gym twice a day. There's women out there that don't go to the gym at all because they're like, well, what's the point? I can't lose weight, so why even bother exercising? So there's a lot of unhealthy habits that form from that body dissatisfaction that, for some women, it just clouds their entire life and they might never get over it. So even though, yes, if we could go back and like shake 20-year-old Natalie and be like, listen to us, that would be awesome. But I think, you're at a place now where things have really changed for you and you've prevented decades of unhappiness in the future, which is really important. So let's transition to talking about what kind of things what changes you experienced through the program and how your life is different now, because talking about what you've been through, where you started is really important for context, but I want to give our listeners some hope about what's possible for their future. So what were some of the biggest lessons that you learned through the work you did with me and in the coaching program?
Yes, definitely. I think the first thing that I would say stands out as like the most impactful was identity, and knowing that my identity is not in what the scale says or what the size of pants that I'm wearing, but it is rooted as a daughter in Christ. And that is what I loved about your program and how it was incorporating kingdom values and knowing that did we fulfill the purpose that we were called to on this earth, or did I just spend it striving to be a certain size instead of really focusing on the Lord, and even was very convicting was how much time I was spending at the gym and on, food prep and all this stuff, that I was neglecting that time with the Lord, and just to refocus on identity and purpose, life purpose in this program.
And that's, I feel like, the number one thing, the goal, the whole program is to get people to a place where they are focused on what their purpose is. Because like you said, you were spending so much time focused on your body and focused on the number on the scale and trying to make sure you hit the gym, that you were totally missing out on any opportunity to do anything that felt like a bigger purpose. So you didn't even have time for it, let alone like the energy or the mental capacity. So that is a huge benefit. That's so awesome. I'd love to hear about the physical changes that you experience, because I know, it's really easy to talk about like, oh, I changed my body and now I see myself differently, which is always amazing. And I also want people to know that, hey, this doesn't mean that you just give up on your health and your body and everything just like is not healthy anymore. So what were some of the physical benefits?
Yeah, definitely. So I remember when we went over the meal planning and we needed to add some carbs in, because I was, zero carbs. And I remember that kind of freak out moment of like, wait, carbs, I can't eat carbs. So that was very challenging, but I had so much more energy from incorporating real food into my diet. And then when we kind of had that conversation about maybe we should look at other avenues for exercising and not do CrossFit, I remember the freak out, like, I'm going to gain weight. This is going to be awful. And we tried it, and you were walking with me, which made me feel like, okay, Laura's with me in my corner. So if this doesn't work, we can go, like you said, we can go back to it. And I ended up stopping CrossFit. I was still doing ballet, still doing like some yoga, and just doing kind of more like strength training, but not that punishing workout. And I actually ended up losing weight. And I also had so much more free time because I was only working out 3 days a week versus the 6 and 2 days, two workouts in a day. So not only did I have so much time, I also felt better, had more energy, and actually lost a size in clothing.
And that's, I always like to not get overly excited about weight loss because I don't want to shadow the other benefits that you got. But I think that's so funny that the goal that you were pursuing, crushing your body into the ground, training 12 times a week and super restrictive dieting and all of that stuff with the goal of losing weight, the thing that actually helped you move towards that goal was doing less and actually eating more carbs. And we cut your workouts down to 25% of what they used to be. And do you feel like because you said you had more energy, how do you feel like your workouts have been going?
Workouts have been good. And I actually sleep. I just remember sleep was awful before. I would even sometimes have to take a Benadryl multiple nights a week to go to sleep when I was doing all that CrossFit in just early mornings. And I do not need that at all. I sleep great. Energy is awesome. And even workouts afterwards, I used to be just feel like so lethargic and like I needed a nap. And now workouts are great. I can go even do something after a workout and I don't feel like, oh gosh, I have to go home and take a nap. Because the workout exhausted me. So it sounds like the workout is fitting into your life rather than you're trying to fit your life into your workout routine. Exactly. Yes, that is it for sure. Awesome. And the energy piece, I would imagine it's huge. I've definitely had moments in my life where working out, I would get home and just feel like I couldn't function because I had just exhausted myself at the workouts. What impact has that had on your life to have that better energy? Oh, huge. Especially even at work, I would just come into the office and just be like, oh gosh, I can't even do anything because I had no even mental energy left after a workout. Or if I would work out, say on the weekend, and then the rest of the day, I'd just be like, I'm just going to take a nap all day and do nothing. But because now we kind of evaluate my workouts, and I go to the gym, and then I have plenty of energy to do housework and hang out with friends and family. Mm-hmm. Versus before it was all the gym.
Yeah. Gym and then more gym and then a nap to recover from the gym. Yeah. So that's great that it wasn't just about a mindset shift or getting more time. It was also that the plan that you implemented was a better fit for your body and actually did help you experience improvements in your health that you were looking to see and were kind of going down the wrong path to try to achieve in other ways. And I just feel like I always want my clients to have an experience where we're doing the least amount possible to get the best results. And it sounds like you're really at that place where you're doing, I don't want to say the bare minimum because that makes it sound bad, but literally it's like, hey, what's the least amount that you need to do? And then if you want to do more, you can, but if you don't, that's cool too. So do you agree with that? Like you feel like you're kind of
yes.
minimizing how much you have to focus on?
Yes. And there's even like what we have, learned in the program that to listen to our bodies. And some days we're going to want to go gym. Some days like, let's just take a walk, and knowing that that's okay to do. Before I had that, that thought of like, no, I had to work out really hard, and just knowing that, no, I can listen to my body. And if I don't work out at all one week, it's okay. And before I would just be like, oh no, I'm going to gain 10 pounds. And I went for a little bit this summer, just kind of because of an injury and stuff. I didn't even work out for a whole month and did not actually gain any weight. And I thought, oh no, because I would for sure gain weight because I didn't work out. But just listening to my body and doing what it was telling me, whether that was just for a walk or just yoga or just half of a ballet class, was huge. And learning that from you and from the program versus my before thinking.
Yeah. And I know that injury obviously was a little bit of a bump in the road, but I think the fact that you were able to handle it so gracefully and not like freak out or like, say, oh my gosh, when I get better, I'm going to have to start training twice a day again, and just not going back into those old habits and giving yourself grace around that healing time has been, it's just been really awesome to watch. And I'm proud of you to see the changes that you've made. So super exciting.
Thank you.
So, I know we've talked about like some of the physical changes, the mental changes, just the internal changes that have happened as a result of doing the work in this program. What is your external life like now that you have gone through this program? What's changed, or, what's been made possible in your life because of the work that you did?
So, and I do know that the Lord brought a relationship into my life this year. And I know for certain if that the Lord had brought the same relationship a year before, when I had all these negative thought patterns, it would not look the same. But I did recently got engaged to an amazing man. Yes. And I know that if I had had those like body image issues, first of all, I would be like, I can't see you here, because I have to work out, and I can't meet your family because my weekends are spent at the gym. And I know that would have looked so different. I'm not going to, we're not going to say, well, what if, but it would have looked different. And instead I have the freedom to, oh, hey, it's Tuesday night. I haven't been, was going to go to the gym, but hey, we're going to go to dinner. Let's go. And just that freedom that I never had experienced before, that I'm able to do last minute plans and last minute things, versus before everything was too structured and too scheduled out because I was afraid to miss anything. And just the freedom of that, and even the freedom to like, it's okay to order that burger or get that ice cream, because just that one meal is not going to put the 10 pounds on that I had thought in my mind that it would, and that it's okay to eat that food and to enjoy in life, instead of just be spiraling in that circle of, I have to eat perfect all the time and make every workout.
Well, I bet if nothing else, your relationship's a lot more fun not having those rules and restrictions around what you're allowed to do and what your schedule, like how to fit your fiance into that 2-a-day gym schedule.
Yes. Yes. I don't think I'd want to date myself.
Oh.
only fit in this hour. And then
I have 30 minutes for you on Sunday afternoon. Like, let's make it happen. And actually, I mean, I think that's a really important thing to emphasize, because part of what you said before about why you even wanted to lose weight in the first place is because you assumed that that was what was holding you back from meeting someone, that it was like related to your weight or your size or how you looked. And I just think it's super interesting that the minute you let go of those goals, and not to say that you don't care at all about the way you look, or like you just like eat donuts at every meal or something like that. Obviously that's not the case, but you let go of that like tight gripped, oh my gosh, I have to lose weight if I'm ever going to meet a man. That was when you were able to have a relationship come into your life that was able to flourish, because you actually had space for it, and because you had built that confidence in yourself and who you were, and weren't thinking that you had to be someone else to have somebody love you.
Yes, no, for sure. And yeah, going back to like the identity, and that my self-worth was not in the size, and before that's how I lived. And I just can't imagine. I know, relationships are difficult, especially at any time, and we add marriage and kids. And if I had that same thought pattern through it, what that would even just do to my relationship, not only with him, but with my family and friends.
And depending on the person, I mean, maybe this person, your fiance, wouldn't have been interested in dating someone who is obsessed with their body.
Yes, that is very true.
So if anything, it sounds like before you were thinking, I need to lose weight to meet someone, and that was like possibly the thing that was preventing you from having the relationship that you desired.
Yeah, no, that is the truth for sure. That is.
And I don't want to over harp on it, but the reason why I want to just emphasize that for our listeners is because I know I felt that way when I was in my 20s, really before I became a Christian, because I got saved in 2012. So I was like 25 when I got saved. But leading up to that point, so much of my thought in relationships was, I'm not good enough, and what do I have to do to prove myself? And I think I was pushing away a lot of the relationships I was in. And I was also attracted to men that kind of emphasized that, like, oh, I always need to prove myself kind of thing. So I also feel like the man I'm married to, I don't think he would have been very interested in who I was when I was in my early 20s, just because of the insecurity and a lack of conviction in who I was. And so I don't think it's untruthful to say that these kind of issues actually can be the reason that somebody is either like not in a relationship or in an unhappy relationship, or, it doesn't just have to be spouses or fiancés or boyfriends. It can also just be friendships and how they interact with their family. Because if you're exhausted and you're under eating and you're over exercising and you're so like worried about what you look like, what the number on the scale is, I mean, I can't imagine that you're able to show up fully present and engaged with any relationship, let alone a romantic relationship.
Yeah, no, that is so true, because it was constantly on my mind all the time. Okay, well, what can I do better next time, or what, if I go out to eat, I need to make sure I pack my food, and just that constant thought pattern, instead of just now being able to like breathe and rest, that I did not have before.
Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean that people don't love you. Like, it doesn't mean that your family's like, I don't love you because you're doing this, or your friends are like, I don't want to be friends with her because she's doing this. But I can imagine that you're missing out on the relationships that you could have because of that mindset. And then other people might be seeing it and thinking, wow, like, I hope she's happy doing what she's doing, because she doesn't seem very happy, and I don't get to like spend as much time with her as I would like. But who knows? Maybe she really does love the gym, and that's why she goes twice a day.
Right. Yes. And then even just, I can't even, couldn't be able to count how many times I would say no to people that I couldn't hang out with them because, I needed to go to the gym, or I needed to go to bed early so I could go to the gym. And just even those relationships that I wasn't even fully able to develop because of my obsession for the gym and fitness. And what I thought was true health.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I mean, you're definitely not alone. I've been there, and I'm sure many of our listeners have been there. And I know a lot of the women in our Fed and Fearless program have been there. So none of this is like unique or bizarre or, if you're listening and you're hearing yourself in Natalie's story, just know that this is something that many women deal with, and that just because it's common doesn't mean that it's normal or that it's desirable. And there's a lot to potentially gain from changing the way that you think about food and fitness. So I just want to chat a little bit about what's next for you because, like I said, there's been so much change in your life and so much improvement in your health and in your mindset and some really exciting relationship changes and big life shifts. So what do you believe is your purpose for the season of life that you're currently in?
Yeah, so that is a great question. To definitely continue to develop the relationships that the Lord has given me. Also, to inspire others, even just in my influence, that have seen me and they're like, wait, well, you used to work out, all the time. Like, what's going on now? The Lord really has used that as an opportunity to share and be like, hey, you don't have to kill yourself. And even sharing the work that we have done and the Fed and Fearless program to use that as a platform, because there's so many people that knew that CrossFit was my life and working out all the time was who they thought I was, and to share that that's not, and that God has a purpose for each and every one of us, and that doesn't mean that we can't work out, but doesn't need to be our life goals. That's not who He's called us to be.
Yeah, I feel like the word that comes to mind is you were saying people thought that CrossFit was your life and basically that it was your identity. And now you're reclaiming your true identity and looking at exercise as being just something that helps keep your body fit and strong, and you can have fun with it and not have to take it so seriously.
Yes, that is so true. Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned that one of the purposes right now is to share your story, which is why you're on this podcast, and to just show other people what's possible when you make these changes and to inspire others. So what would you say is the impact that you hope to have on the world around you now that you're able to look beyond your body and look beyond yourself?
Yes, I guess just to inspire others that we don't have to look a certain way to gain happiness or look a certain way that we think society tells us, especially in whatever world that is that we live in. Like for me, it was the dance world, and I'm still involved in dance, and I hope to also inspire others that you don't have to look a certain way to dance or to even if you're even in church and your church allows for like movement and dance, that we can use that as a way even to glorify the Lord. You don't have to be a certain size or look a certain way. So I hope that also inspires others to continue to dance. I know there was a season where I thought I was done dancing because of my size, and that even just working with you, Laura, and how I do want others to be able to look at me and say, if she can dance, I can too. And if that inspires someone, then that is definitely what I believe the Lord has called me to this season.
That's so awesome. And I know that you and I have talked before about thinking about 19-year-old Natalie and what kind of role models do you wish that she had in her life at that time, and knowing that you can be that person to a younger woman that wants to dance, but maybe think she needs to look a certain way, or maybe used to look a certain way and doesn't anymore. And now she can see you and say, hey, well, if Natalie's doing it, why can't I do it? So I love that. Super courageous. Not that you need to be courageous. I mean, I think dancing in general takes a lot of courage. I know sometimes I feel super embarrassed about dancing in front of other people, but just being able to show other people that, the idea that dancers have to be skinny or have to look a certain way is not true, can really open up a lot of opportunity for a lot of people who might have not thought that it was for them. So I have a couple more questions. I'm so enjoying talking to you about this stuff, and it's just been such a blessing to watch the transformation that you've gone through over the last year or so. So just getting to hear this kind of like culmination of everything that's changed in your life is so awesome. What would you say to somebody who is considering investing serious money in coaching?
Yes, I definitely say I understand it is, we live in a world where we need money, and I understand that you think, oh, I could use this for something else, or I could save it, or whatever, if there's a financial goal that you have. But investing in yourself you are worth the goal. And the freedom that you'll experience in not only just in health, but mentally and spiritually is worth the investment to then continue to pursue the God-given passions and callings that He's given you, as well as if you're raising a family. I know I don't want my daughter to be raised with me constantly looking in the mirror or looking at the scale and seeing that that's what a woman needs to be worried about, but instead to pursue the gifts and the callings that God has placed inside of her, and that getting that freedom is so worth it, and it's worth the investment. It may not seem like, oh, you're worth it, but you are. And even just the sphere of influence that each and every one of us have, we don't even realize it, but we can even just impact one life with the truth that our purpose is not in our size, but in Christ and the callings He's placed in each one of us.
Yes, you are definitely worth the transformation. And as one of my mentors says, the transformation is in the transaction. So, making that payment, committing to doing the work, and committing to showing up, and the program is not easy. I'm sure Natalie can agree that there was times where there was a lot of concern. And I don't know, I guess, and Natalie, I'd be curious, if I had given you the program for free, do you think you would have taken it as seriously as you did?
No, definitely not, because I would have been like, oh yeah, it's there. Okay. Yeah, I need to go through those lessons or yeah, whatever. But no, definitely that investment is that commitment that I am going to do this. I am going to take it serious. And also just to get all that I can out of it, because we do have this opportunity in the season. We don't know what is next. And right now we're given today. Let's make the most of every opportunity.
As much as I wish I could have just waved a magic wand over you to change all this stuff, I know that it was your persistence and commitment and effort and, making tough decisions that were scary. That was what got you the results that you got. Obviously, God was involved heavily in the process, but you still had to show up. Just like I couldn't just wave a magic wand and change you. God wasn't going to just hit you with a bolt of lightning and all of a sudden you're a new person. So that commitment that you put in, and that investment of money, time, energy, focus, attention, holding the space for the learning process was what got you the results that you have, that you're able to jump on this podcast and share with everybody. So I'm inspired by you, Natalie. I just feel like you have done such a great job, and you've been such an amazing person to work with, and just watching how you're so coachable, and you just take these things that maybe seem a little backwards that I recommended, and you went with it, and you said, you know what, I'm going to try it and see what works. And that's why you are where you are today, because you were willing to take risks. So just super inspired by how committed you are to seeing the change that you knew was possible for you. Now, do you have any final advice or words of wisdom or anything that you wanted to share for the women listening today?
I kind of just even got this picture of like, when we partner with Christ, we have to put work and effort into our relationship. And that's the same thing, like with this, like we're partnering with your mission of the Fed and Fearless and what that looks like. And that is going to take work, but it is so worth it.
I love that. That's so awesome. And I definitely consider you to be a partner in this mission, and with, just this podcast and the work that I'm doing, and people like you who are doing the work that I'm teaching and being the example to shine the light for others. I feel like we're going to make a big impact on everybody that is listening to this podcast. So thank you so much. I do have one more question that I did not prep before, but this is one that I ask guests at the end. just to get some different opinions and different ways of looking at the question. But what do you believe makes a person more than a body?
That would be how they treat others and interact. Does that answer your question?
I love it. I feel like so many of my clients are like, did I give you the right answer? Do I get the gold star? I don't know. Did it answer my question? Do you feel like it answered?
No, actually, I'm probably going to say more than a body is, did we fulfill what the Lord put us on this earth for?
And it sounds like for you, a big part of that, if not the majority of that, is how you are impacting those around you, how you're treating people, how you're, demonstrating to them what their value is and the kind of impact you're having on their lives. Is that right?
Yes, that's it.
Awesome. Yeah, that original answer could have been the answer. It's just funny that so many of my clients are like, they always are like asking me, is that what you wanted to hear? I'm happy to hear whatever you think is the answer. So.
Oh yeah. So that's a good question. I like that because that kind of shifts the focus too, to think about, okay, we're more than just a body.
Awesome. Well, NATALI, this was so much fun. I appreciate you coming on here and sharing your story so much. And I know that this is going to help so many people to see where in their life maybe they need to make a change and what's possible for them on the other side of that change. So thank you again. I'm just like blown away by the change that I've seen in your life over the last year. And I can't wait to see what else happens for you now that you have this freedom.
Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you for having me on. I am honored to be on and share my story. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I hope everybody has a great week, and we will catch you next week on the Fed and Fearless podcast. Take care, everyone. Hey, everyone. Thanks so much for listening to the Fed and Fearless podcast. If you loved what you heard today, be sure to subscribe and leave a review on iTunes so I can keep sharing my best content with you every week. And use the hashtag #FedAndFearless when sharing the episodes that you love the most on social media like Instagram and Facebook so I can connect with you personally. And if you're enjoying the content I've been sharing on this podcast, you're going to absolutely love my free online training, The 5 Secrets of Fearlessly Healthy Women of Faith. This training covers the 5 most important shifts you must make in order to become truly healthy and free from fear around your health decisions. Listen, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you were created for so much more than fear and frustration around food and fitness. Let me show you how you can experience true freedom in your health and incredible purpose for your life. If you're ready to experience true peace and freedom in your health, here's what I want you to do. To watch this free training, go to fedandfearless.com/free. That's fedandfearless.com/FREE free. You'll get instant access to this 1-hour training, and you'll walk away with a brand new method for approaching health from a faith-based perspective, so you can live the purpose-driven life you were created for. Go get your free download now at fedandfearless.com/free. All right, I'll see you on the next episode. Until then, get out there and be fearless in your pursuit of a healthy, purpose-driven life.